Bhagavatam. Today we have very wonderful devotees, Umesh Prabhu, Neha Mataji, and Meera presenting the theme is Gajendra's Prayers of Surrender. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 3. Mataji, Hare Krishna, over to you. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can you see our screen?
Yes, Mataji, I can see.
Thank you so much to all the devotees for joining this presentation. Thanks to Satyasara Prabhu and Svaja Mataji and Veena Mataji for giving us this opportunity to present. Um, so today we are going to present Gajendra prayers of surrender to Lord. We want to start with beauty that Krishna external energy has created. If oh, 1 minute. You can close that. Yes. Good. Use the move it. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So we want to start with beauty that Krishna's external energy has created. If Trikuta mountain is so blissful, imagine how beautiful Krishna Loka will be. We want to showcase this with one shloka. Sarit Sarobhira Achodehe Puline Mani Balukhi Deva Stri Majana Mura Sorabham Bhavne Yuta. Translation. Trikuta mountain has many lakes and rivers with beaches covered by small gems resembling grains of sand. The water is as clear as crystal, and when the demigod damsels bathe in it, their bodies lend fragrance to the water and the breeze, thus enriching the atmosphere. Purport given by Srila Prabhupada. Even in the material world, there are many grades of living entities. The human beings on earth generally cover themselves with external fragrances to stop their bad bodily odors. But here we find that because of the bodily fragrance of the demigod themselves, the rivers, the lakes, the breeze, and the entire atmosphere of Trikuta mountain also become fragrant. Since the bodies of themselves in the upper planetary systems are so beautiful, we can just imagine how beautifully formed are the bodies of Vaikuntha themselves or the themselves in Vrindavan, the gopis. Now, our realization being eternal fragrance. If we follow Krishna consciousness, we will emit fragrance, which is eternal and which influences people around us, versus external fragrance, which is temporary and only benefit us. Misusing power, influence, and resources. Sagarma tapta kari bhik kari nubhi prato madachut bir anudrita girim garim na parita prakampayan nishevyamano likulir madashini saronilam pankajari nurushitam jigran viduran mada likshna prataswayuktena trasarditena tat Sarovarabhayasham Atat Madrutam. Translation. Surrounded by the herd's other elephants, including females, and following by the young ones, Gajapati, the leader of the elephants, made Trikuta mountain tremble all around. Because of the weight of his body, he was perspiring, liquor dripped from his mouth, and his vision was overwhelmed by intoxication. He was being served by bumblebees who drank honey, and from a distance he could smell the dust of lotus flowers, which was carried from the lake by the breeze. Thus, surrounded by his associates who were afflicted by thirst, he soon arrived at the bank of the lake. Our realization. So we as human beings are also creating disruptions, just like what Gajapati was doing. We are creating we are doing construction, unnecessary construction. We are cutting trees. We are being bossy, or we are killing animals. So our bad karma brings bad consequences. So do you guys all remember the storm we just faced? Happiness in material world is illusion. Sapushkarinano Trita Shikarambupi Nipayan Samsunapayan Vithagrihi Rini Karinu Karabhamscha Durmadu Nakashta Krisham Krapanu Jamayaya. Translation: like a human being who lacks spiritual knowledge and is too attached to the members of his family, the elephant, being illusioned by the external energy of Krishna, had his wives and children bathe and drink the water. Indeed, he raised water from the lake with his trunk and sprayed it over them. He did not mind the hard labor involved in this endeavor. Krishna is the only protector and reason for happiness. Balasya Neha Sharanam Pitro Narsimha Nartasya Chakadam Udanvati Majatono now Taptasya Tat Prativitir Ya Ihan Jashishtas Tavad Vibho Tanobhritam Tvad Upekshitam. We may invent so many ways to be happy or to counteract the dangers of this material world. But unless our attempts are sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, they will never make us happy. Those who take shelter of Krishna, they become really happy.
Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thanks for joining. Our realization: what we think makes us happy, basically is an illusion that we don't realize. We think we get a house by the lake, get an expensive car, have a career progression where we become VPs, directors, CEOs, and finally have a fat bank balance. You're always thinking, and the question marks of what makes you happy, it just increases, right? When we have a car, we want a bigger one. When we have a house, we want a house by the lake. When we become manager, we want to be directors. When we become director, we want to be VPs. When we have $100,000, we want $500,000. It never ends, and we think that is happiness, but we keep chasing it and don't realize happiness. Next one. What we forget, though, in the process, is everything emanates from Krishna. The house, the car, your ability to progress in your career, or even the bank balance. Everything is emanating from Krishna. And it's that connection that we fail to see. And that's why we live in an illusion world that we are the creators and the controllers. How do we not get illusion? Basically, by offering everything to Krishna, right? So now, if you see in this picture, Krishna is at the center. The house is used for Krishna prayers. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We all remember, I think 2 years back, when Satyabhama used to do Bhakti Visha classes in people's houses. We used to wait for that day when our number will come and now when our house will be, filled with devotees chanting the Maha Mantra. That's offering our house to Krishna. Yes, get a car, and if you like an expensive one, get that. But use that car to go to Krishna temple or to take you to Krishna. Career progression is extremely important, but the ladder shouldn't end with the designation. The ladder should take you to Krishna. The power and the influence you get should lead you to Krishna and should allow you to do more for Krishna and his devotees. Oh, yes, money is also important. Use that money to serve others, right? To donate uh, prasadam or to donate for temple. So basically, all your question marks aren't increasing. It's everything is emanating from Krishna. And you're happy. You're a Vaishnava. So what really makes us happy? The lines to the material objects no longer here for a Vaishnava. Now the lines connect to Krishna prayers daily. eating Krishna Prasadam daily, doing Seva daily, and doing Sankirtan daily. That's what ISKCON is all about. And that's the moment Prabhupada ji started. In summary, person in a material world without Krishna consciousness is attached to material objects, detached to Krishna, thinks he is the doer and the controller, stays unhappy but in constant pursuit of happiness. A Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi is only attached to Krishna, detached with material object, knows that Krishna is the doer and the controller, and that the devotee is just a servant, and hence the devotee remains eternally happy. Okay, so basically what we are saying is surrender to Krishna should be the first resolve, not the last. Namam ime gnataya aturam gajaha kutah karinaha prabhavanti muchitam grahena pasena vidhatur avrito paham cha tam yami param parayanam. Translation: the other elephants who are my friends and relatives could not rescue me from this danger. What then to speak of my wives? They cannot do anything. It is by the will of Providence that I have been attacked by this crocodile, and therefore I shall seek shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always the shelter of everyone, even of great personalities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This material world is described as padam padam yad vipadam, which means that at every step there is danger. A fool wrongly thinks that he is happy in this material world, but in fact he is not. For one who thinks that way is only illusioned. At every step, at every moment, there is danger. In modern civilization, one thinks that if he has a nice home and a nice car, his life is perfect. In Western countries, especially in America, it is very nice to possess a good car. But as soon as one is on the road, there is danger because at any moment an accident may take place and one will be killed. The record actually shows that so many people die in such accidents. Therefore, if we actually think that this material world is very happy place, this is our ignorance. Real knowledge is that this material world is full of dangers. We may struggle for the existence as far as our intelligence allows and may try to take care of ourselves, but unless Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna ultimately saves us from the danger, our attempts will be useless. A realization. So imagine whole life, we spend creating family, creating bank balance, getting that power and influence, thinking it is the family, the money, or the power, or any worldly objects. When the bad time comes, they will save us. Time and again, millions of people, everyone thinks like this. It is a cycle, and we think it is the impact of three modes of nature. Everyone does the same mistake, but nobody wants to realize that finally, Krishna is the only protector. Neither your power nor your influence, neither money, not even your family, even if they intend to, could save us. And only Krishna could save you. And that's why, why spend the whole life chasing objects? Why spend the whole life chasing objects that are wasteful? Why not spend the life in a meaningful way by being Krishna conscious?
He always responds to prayers, no matter how late you remember him. Shripadar Badarayannir Uvacha Evam Yavishito Budaya Samadaya Manohridi Jajapa Paramam Japyam Prajanmani Anikshikshitam. Translation. Sri Sukdev Goswami continued. Thereafter, the king of the elephants, Gajendra, fixed his mind in his heart with the perfect intelligence and chanted a mantra. which he had learned in his previous birth as Indradipta, and which he remembered by the grace of Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labate parvadihikam yatate cha tato vya samsidhyo kurunandana purvabhyashena teneva hriyate hi avashopi saha. In these verses, it is assured that even if a person engaged in devotional service falls down, he is not degraded, but is placed in a position in which he will in due course of time remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As explained later, Gajendra was formerly King Indradimna, and somehow or other in his next life he became King of Elephants. Now Gajendra was in danger, and although he was in a body other than that of a human being, he remembered the stotra he had chanted in his previous life, Yatate Chatato Bhuya, Samsiddho Kurunandana. To enable one to achieve perfection, Krishna gives one the chance to remember him again. This is proved here, for although the king of elephants, Gajendra, was put in danger, this was a chance for him to remember his previous devotional activities so that he could immediately be rescued by Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is imperative, therefore, that all devotees in Krishna consciousness practice chanting some mantra. Certainly, one should chant the Hare Krishna mantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And also, one should practice chanting Chintamani Prakara Sarmashu or the Narsimha Stotra. Ito Narsimha Parto Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimha. Every devotee should practice in order to chant some mantra perfectly so that even though he may be imperfect in his spiritual consciousness in this life, in his next life he will not forget Krishna consciousness, even if he becomes an animal. Of course, a devotee should try to perfect his Krishna consciousness in this life, for simply by understanding Krishna and his instructions. After giving up this body, one can return home back to Godhead. Even if there is some fall down, practice of Krishna consciousness never goes in vain. For example, Ajmal in his boyhood practiced chanting the names of Narayana under the direction of his father, but later in his youth he fell down and became drunkard, woman hunter, rogue, and thief. Nonetheless, but because of chanting the name of Narayana for the purpose of calling his son, whom he had named Narayana, he became advanced even though he was involved in sinful activities. Therefore, we should forget the chanting of Mahamantra under any we should not forget the chanting of Mahamantra under any circumstances. It will help us in the greatest danger as we find in the life of Gajendra. Now choice is yours. Either be Krishna conscious today and every day and be happy,
or we can go through multiple cycles of birth, right? Become a dog, snake, elephant, become a human, not realize it, and go through the cycle again to finally realize Krishna is the only purpose. I mean, from this story, you remember, right? Gajendra, the king Gajendra took thousands of years to realize that Krishna is the protector, and as soon as he realizes and does prayer to Krishna, Krishna comes for the protection. So the choice is really yours. People say don't take shortcuts, right? But I mean, do we want to take the 1,000-year long cut as well? I think if we are conscious of Krishna every day, uh, and we can be happy in whatever circumstances Krishna puts us, and we realize the purpose of our life, which is going to Krishna and always remembering him.
just chant and be happy. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Meera. That was a very fantastic presentation. Beautiful realizations and very creatively all expressed. And I think the point is very important. We have to, chant and be happy and follow Krishna consciousness now. Otherwise, we have to take birth again, and who knows what life we are going to get in our next life, right? What form of what form of living entity we're going to be. And I really like the point that you said that how the happiness in material life is never ending. We always want more and more and more. Only when we connect to Krishna will we get any satisfaction. So beautifully presented. Thank you very much, Mataji Prabhu. And Meera was really supportive. So that's really wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you. Please forgive us if we
Yes,
make any
Mataji.
mistakes in our understanding.
Yes, Mataji.
It was very beautiful, Prabhu. I think the realizations were really amazing. So with that, devotees, so next Wednesday is our last class for presentation for Gajendra prayers. We will be concluding the Gajendra prayers. And from April, we are going to start Dhruva Maharaj's prayers. I will send the details of which canto and chapter and the verses on WhatsApp. Request everyone to please sign up. So the first class to sign up will be from April 7th. With that, thank you very much, devotees, for joining today. We will see you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna devotee.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.